back to the baseball podcast. Little more upset than the last episode we did. Last episode we had so much hope. We thought we might play in October.
I think we gotta jinx us.
Yeah, we fucked it.
Fuck.
We
were so close to October baseball.
Yeah, we haven't recorded since the Jays made and dropped out of the playoffs in 2 games to the Tampa Bay Rays.
Yeah.
It sucks. It was such a fun year, and I loved every second of it.
Yeah, and it was kind of worse than I thought it would be. To be honest.
I mean, game 1 was close.
Game 1, yeah.
2, I felt the entire time like we could come back, and it just
it
never happened. Like Tyler Glasnow was pitching like shit, and I was just like,
right,
we could do this.
Nobody was hitting.
Well, they were hitting balls hard. They were just hitting it at people for the most part, and it was just like they'd have deep line drives to the outfield, but they were just at guys, and it just kind of.
Yeah. Can't do that.
I just felt like, you know what, you get 1 or 2 innings here or there that just breaks it open a little bit. I think you could you come back and then they brought in Aaron Loop, and I'm like, it's possible, but obviously
apparently
it didn't happen.
They got a different Aaron Loop. Did something happen down there?
I don't know. They like used him perfectly where he just got outs, and it was just unbelievable.
Yeah.
Do you want to break it? We can break it down game by game, I guess, because there's only 2, and there's not really a ton to talk about in each game. Game 1 had Matt Shoemaker on the mound, and we talked about that decision, right? Because that had come out by the time we recorded.
Yeah.
It was an interesting choice, but Matt Shoemaker looked really good when he went out there for his 3 innings, and he was dominant in that 3rd inning.
Right.
And then the decision that everybody wants to talk about happened, and they pulled Shoemaker and brought in Robbie Ray, who, to his credit, was really good in that game. He
only gave it up 1 earned run.
He only gave up that 1 hit, I think, and then he had, I think it was 6 strikeouts or something like that after that in three innings. So he had he had thrown 27 pitches in that 1st inning, and then 35 in the next 2 combined. So, like, obviously what you got out of that first little bit from Robbie Ray wasn't the Robbie Ray that was all game. Unfortunately, it led to that triple that ended up scoring a run. It sucked. It was a tough choice to take in at the time, and like it's a hard pill to swallow as a Jays fan, where it's just if you kind of have yourself thinking like, what if?
I think the most shocking thing was like the surprise after the game. Like when you talk to them, it was almost like he didn't know that he was only getting 3 innings. He thought that as long as I'm still dealing, then I'm still in it. Like as long as I have this ball and the streak going on, that I'm going to keep pitching.
He knew the plan was to go to Robbie Ray after him, but I think he was thinking, you know what, if I'm going to keep dealing, we go 5 or 6 innings, and then Robbie Ray can come in. Not we're going half and half of the first 6 or something like that. And like, I was shocked when Montoyo said they only wanted to give
2 innings, wasn't it?
Yeah, Shoemaker 2 innings.
2. Yeah.
Where like, it doesn't matter what your starter is. If you're only giving them 2 innings, like they're not your starter, they're your opener.
No,
like,
but that also like that kind of changes you as a starter, does it not? Like if you get told, hey, you're going to go 2 to 3 innings, then okay. But if you're going to say, hey, I got to go like 6.
You got
6 innings. Then
if you're expecting to pitch 9 innings that day, you have to you can't just go 100% for the first 2 and then try and hope for the best for the rest of it. You kind of got to ease yourself into the game and make it work. Whereas they didn't really give him that choice, I guess. It is weird. I didn't like the move. Obviously, I was angry about the move at the time, but looking back, it wasn't really what lost you that game.
That's not the reason why you lost that game.
No, it was like a 3-1 game. Like you just could not score runs. To me, if we're gonna look at managerial moves where you can blame Charlie Montoyo, because realistically, that move worked out. The Ray coming in move, like analytically, that was their choice, and it made sense. Like they didn't really give up much after that.
Yeah,
but the move to
the reliever that gave up the next 2 runs.
Cole came in and gave up the 2 runs.
Cole came in and gave up two runs, and like, you know what though, you look more towards your bats, like where are those to get you back from those pitching mistakes, right? Because you're 2 guys who came in and are kind of like Robbie Ray, especially very experienced, like pitcher. They did what they were supposed to do.
Yep, you can't fault either one of them for that. The one managerial move I was going to say that you can blame a little bit on Montoyo is you have a chance in the 6th inning, I believe it was. There's 2 runners on, and they used a pinch hitter for VR, and they decided to go with Joe Panic.
Okay.
Which, to me, I'm like, okay, that's fine, because they had Rowdy on the bench, and I'm like, maybe Rowdy's not ready to go. like he's not healthy or something, whatever, you're going to use Panic here. I guess he's the best available bat. I don't see it with runners on that he's going to be the guy that drives them in, but that was their choice. So I'm like, fine, you're not going to use Rowdy. It's okay. But then the next inning, they have another chance that they're going to pinch hit, and they pinch hit Rowdy in that situation with nobody on. To me, you completely did that backwards, whereas you should have had Panic hitting with nobody on to get on base and Rowdy hitting with men on to try and drive them in, because Rowdy Tellez has a much better chance of driving guys in than Joe Panic does. You don't see Joe Panic driving a lot of balls to gaps.
Right, but I think the point there was like if you kind of already made the one mistake, then you're gonna throw him in the next opportunity you get, right? Like that's what he's kind of saying. He's like, no, we didn't put him in game. Or sorry, in the first opportunity to use a pinch hitter, but we're gonna do it.
It almost made it worse that you put him in after, because it's like if he was available, why didn't you use him?
Right, but how would you feel then if he didn't come in at all? If they pinch hit again and it wasn't Rowdy, like you've already made the mistake.
I think it would have made his first move more understandable
if you just didn't use Rowdy. But then Rowdy could come out and say like, I'm healthy, I'm good to go.
Yeah, obviously it sucks, but like it's just it's tough to explain that move. If Rowdy comes in the game.
Montoya made some really questionable moves, like not communicating with your pitcher. Yeah, but like not communicating with your pitcher on like what the plan is. Not bringing in probably your better hitter absolutely in that situation. But to be fair, he kind of goes off of what his instincts are and what he saw throughout the year, and Panic was looking pretty good going into the playoffs, and we kind of said that I think in our last podcast too.
Great guy, just not a very good manager. And
no.
Do I think he's the only reason we lost that series? Absolutely not. No. Do I think he should get fired? Not for the series, but I think for the body of work that he had throughout the season. Maybe. I don't think next year is the year to do it, but I don't think he's the manager that takes you to the promised land by any means.
No, but
he's not the reason we're not playing anymore, right?
No, bottom line. But they're going to keep him next year. I don't know how many years he actually has left on his deal, but
maybe next year and maybe the year after.
But there's still you're still just kind of like trying to compete, but you're just trying to get better at this point.
Yep.
Right. Yep. And I know that Ross Atkins has come out and said we're going to be aggressive in free agency. We're going to try and get some high level players, but they also have to want to come here.
Yep, that's fair. But if you throw somebody enough money, they're bound to come here, especially with this lineup and the potential that there is right now, like with Austin Martin coming up, Jordan Groshans coming up. There's a couple other prospects that I just don't have the names in front of me, but like there's a few names in the mind. Like Alek Manoah's a good arm in your that could be in your rotation in the next couple of years. Semyon Woods Richardson, sorry. Like they're both there's some names
potential to be in there, but like
if you're a guy that's in the middle of your career looking to win somewhere, this is a place where you can see winning in the future,
right?
And I think that should draw a couple names anyways. I don't know if we'll get anyone this offseason. Obviously, I'd like to go after a guy like Trevor Bauer or a guy like James Paxton.
Yeah, you kind of want to go more for pitching.
Yeah, I don't think there's a lot of hole. I've heard a few people mention that we should try and upgrade third base. I don't agree with that in the slightest, because you have the two biggest prospects you have coming up are both third basemen.
Right.
And I don't really if you're going to go get somebody that is in the end of their career and just like teach guys, fine. But like if you're looking for someone to replace that spot for years to come, you have two of those guys that are coming up.
But maybe also not just like throw those guys in the fire, so to speak. Like if they need time to ease in, and for both of them to hit, like that's asking like a good chunk out of them for a first year.
But you don't need both of them, right? Like if one of them hits, that's fine, because then you can fill that spot.
But I also just hope that Vlad isn't done being over at third base sometimes, right? Because you can have other that he is a learning first baseman. You want to give him as many opportunities there, but at the same time, like you almost like that versatility, right? Because it's another position that Vlad can go over and play. And I don't think that he was atrocious at third base.
Was okay. He wasn't great. Ross Atkins was talking about him the other day on Tim and Sid, and he mentioned that he would like to see Vlad go back to third and like play not consistently at third, but he'd like to see him take innings at third just so he has that versatility. So then you open your lineup a whole lot more, right? Because some days you can have Vlad play third, some days he plays first, and you just open the lineup. So like kind of like the Dodgers.
DH, right? Like he's okay to go out there and hit. And in a regular season, right, you're gonna go through a lot of injuries. You're gonna go through a lot of like moments where you're playing a lot of games in a short amount of days. And I think that it's important to have him still be effective in your lineup, but yet still being able to flex some other players out there. Exactly. If you're playing in free agency, is to go out and get some, right?
Yeah, it's just I think they could use some defensive help in the outfield because I think the three that are out there, they're good outfielders. They're not great outfielders.
If we play in an actual in the Rogers Center, it is not needed to have a ridiculous Kevin Pillar was absolutely great to watch, but it was
you don't really
a lot of balls are just they're gone or they're kind of right at you.
Yeah, it's a small outfield to play.
Right. So I think
that's what I mean. I think you have three good outfielders. I wouldn't say any of them are great or any of them are elite by any means. I think they're good enough and they can man your outfield. Would it help if there was someone on the market that you could say is going to solidify this outfield? Maybe. I wouldn't hate it, but it's not something I think they need to look at replacing right now unless there's obviously a better upgrade out there.
I think that we're going for a veteran presence, somebody with presence, someone with experience out there, and maybe can play a couple positions to get in this lineup still, right?
Yep.
It's not an easy lineup to crack in the regular season. That's what they kind of showed, right? Who knows if they can sustain it over 162, but at the same time, let's hope.
Yeah, exactly. You have no idea what this team can be realistically. That's yeah, I'm here with it. There's guys out there.
Yeah.
I mean, Giancarlo Stanton could opt out, but I don't know if that's a guy you take a crack at.
He's not going to want to come.
No.
I don't think this is the market he wants to go into. And
George Springer's another one, but
are we even for sure that we're going to be playing back here again? What if they go back to Buffalo, right?
Yeah, you have this year is so.
That is a hard sell for somebody who's a Major League Baseball player to say, hey.
Especially one that was just bitching about the lighting.
Right. So, yeah.
Yeah. You also have George Springer's a guy you could take a look at because he plays really good defense. He's a good leadoff guy when he's getting trash cans banged for him.
Right.
So he can get the job done. Yeah, I'm sure we could set something.
I'll go from the streets, man. Yeah, whatever you need.
Marcell Ozuna is a free agent.
He's gonna get, I think, a good chunk of money though. He's one of those guys that he's playing hot for Atlanta right now. He
nearly won the Triple Crown in the NL. So
right. So
pretty good.
Yeah.
Michael Brantley is one that I think you could take a look at because he's a really good veteran. He would help that lineup. He's good defensively.
Yeah.
I don't hate it. There's obviously guys out there.
He's in the AL too. He's used to being in the AL side, right? He's been there for a couple of years now. Right.
I think the bigger look is at the starting pitching because you have guys like Bauer, like I mentioned, Paxton's out there, Tanaka's out there, the ghost of Jake Arrieta's out there. A couple other Cole Hamels, not really worth it. There's a few names out there, anyways. Stroman's out there, that'd be hilarious.
That would be so funny to bring him back.
There's some names out there, and I think your goal right now is to bring in a 1 or 2 starter. And I think
I was going to say though that you don't need to get a couple pitchers. You realistically need one because let's not forget Shoemaker's here. He's proven that he can throw some. Oh, is he really?
Yeah, Shoemaker's.
They might bring him back though.
I think he wants to come back. He seems really positive about this team.
Yep.
But you are potentially losing Shoemaker, Anderson, Ray, Taiwan, all to free agency right now.
Okay, but you have Pearson.
Mm-hmm.
You have
the rotation right now looks like Ryu, Pearson, Thornton might not pitch next year. I don't know. His arm's pretty fucked. I think he got Tommy John. Who else is in there? Stripling's there. Okay. You still have Roark, which wasn't great this year, but he's still a serviceable pitcher. I don't hate it.
Yeah, I feel like you got to have some confidence that they're going to bring 1 to maybe 2 of those guys back, right? Because those are a lot of names, and especially names that you put trust in big situations, right? I wouldn't be surprised if they made a push for Shoemaker and Ray, just given the fact that they pitched.
Yep. I think Taiwan's one you have to. I think Taiwan needs to be your number 1 target. I think Taiwan was the best of the group.
Mm-hmm.
He easily slots in as your number 2 starter next year, and then maybe Nate Pearson. But
he could even go if you get an arm in the offseason.
So ideally, right now you're looking at if you don't sign the big fish in the market, you can get Ryu, Taiwan, Pearson, and then a combination of Shu, Hatch, Merriweather, K, maybe Ray if you bring him back too. There's a few names that you can fill out. But if you do end up going to get that big fish, then you say it's James Paxton. We'll go. You get Ryu at the top, James Paxton 2. You've now pushed Taiwan down to 3, and Nate Pearson is now your 4 starter.
Right.
Which sounds pretty phenomenal because Nate Pearson in game 2 was dominant. And he was out there throwing 101 miles an hour. He had 5 strikeouts and 6 batters. Just incredible work from the guy.
Right.
So if he can continue that as a starter, like you're looking, then you have this depth behind you. They don't want to have Hatch and Merriweather or Kay in the bullpen anymore, so they're going to be transitioned back to starters next year. And if you have those 3 as
that's a tough transition, though. I think to go back.
Yeah. So they were brought up as starters. So I mean,
but I think you need them pushed towards that 5 position. And that's.
I don't think any of them come in as your 5 starter, right? Because you'll probably have Roark as your 5 starter, which it may not look great this year, but Roark can pitch. He just needs to figure it out. But if you have any of that, if that's your 5, you will have Hatch in AAA. You'll have K. You'll have Merriweather. You'll have who else is in that group? Robbie Ray, if you bring him back. Ross Stripling's still here. He could be your 5 guy.
He's getting older, though. I don't know if I could.
Yeah, but he's as your 5 starter. I'm okay with it.
Absolutely.
There's obviously options. It's going to be interesting to see what they do from here out. Do you want to talk about Game 2?
I think Game 2 was a big surprise for me.
Man, I had so much confidence the last show we did. I'm like, Ryu game, you have the better matchup on paper every day of the week.
I don't know, maybe do you think at any point that Ryu was kind of pissed off, not even pissed off about it, but kind of just out of his rhythm and out of his head a little bit because of the fact that he wasn't game 1 starter? And I know that it's a team game and everyone's going to buy in, but at the same time, if you're expected to be the one, and then you put him in a game where he needs to he can't make any mistakes.
No, you have to be perfect. I think if the rumors are true and he asked to get the extra day, then obviously the story's moot. But if he didn't, and it was just Charlie Montoya's plan to throw Ryu in Game 2 so that he has that day in the middle where he doesn't use anyone.
Why ask for the extra day though? Because it's, to me, I think we were wrong or maybe I was wrong when I said Charlie Morton was going to be Game 2.
Yeah, they did. They changed it up.
But. Yeah, Tyler Glasnow came out Game 2, and like you said, they weren't hitting great, but they're in Tampa, where Tampa wins a lot of games.
Yeah, I
think we do not. And I think bringing him in for that Game 2, to be the game that you need to win, and there's no mistake, there's no chance for mistakes, right? And all of a sudden it was there was bases loaded.
Yeah, and there was obviously something wrong with him because his velocity wasn't there, and that's the big tell that his arm just wasn't with him that day, and he could not hit his spots for the most part. He didn't get hit hard for the most part, other than that Renfroe home run and the Zunino home run. Most of the hits were cheeky little ground balls. Or
would you say that was a hard hit though for being in a dome and in Tampa?
Renfroe shit on his, but the Zunino one was meh. I didn't.
But it wasn't a big.
They weren't line drives. They were
no.
Renfroe's was a shot. Zunino's was kind of a really towering fly ball that got out.
Yeah.
Other than that, though, it was just little flares that got in or little singles through the infield, and just he didn't really get hit hard.
Also,
but you could just tell he didn't have his missing bat stuff.
Before that Renfroe home run, Bo Bichette boots a ball for the second time in the game.
Twice. Yeah. Both with 2 outs. Both could have got you out of the inning.
So you could have been completely out of that inning. And
that was tough. It's
it kind of gets if you're Ryu and you kind of get that pitch right to your shortstop and you breathe that sigh of okay, I'm out. But then that happens and you're
it's hard.
Holy crap.
It's hard.
That.
It's hard to come back
on both sides. It's hard on everybody, right? You could see his face and how upset he was because of it.
Yeah, it's really easy to point fingers at Ryu and say oh, he didn't do the job. But there's just so many little plays. Even if Bo makes that play in the inning before, you're now a batter ahead of what you were in inning 2. It's a completely different lineup you have to face there, and you don't even end up getting to Renfroe because it's just you get to that spot, right? And then even if he makes the one in the first, you have that one in the second. If you get out of that inning, you're only down 3, and I have faith in this lineup to put up 3 runs on any given day.
But they were pretty. Not
other than Danny Jansen, they were not. Danny Jansen decided he's not losing his spot next year. That Alejandro kid can sit down because he went off.
He's gonna bomb it. Yeah, he's like, no, guys, I can hit.
I really like Jano. I wish he would stick.
That sucks to come into your playoffs and say our best hitter was Danny Jansen when you have names like, Lourdes Gurriel Jr., Vladimir Guerrero Jr., Bo Bichette. Like, just
nobody really hit well.
No, and
nobody hit consistently. It was all like they'd have a hit, but they never had hits in the same inning.
Right.
Cavan had that one double, and outside of that, he was not seeing the ball well. Didn't play very well. It happened, man. Like, just the whole team you know what? They're young, and it was their first taste of postseason.
It's a good experience
for
a team that's veteran based, I think, and especially with Blake Snell coming out game 1 and doing what Blake Snell does, and those guys in the bullpen too. Like they play matchup based bullpen. They don't say like this is your guy here, this is your here. Like they say this is our matchup. Here's how we're going to throw you out there. Anybody can come up in a save opportunity. Anybody can come up in whatever inning we call for them.
They have 7 or 8 guys that can just get the job done. It's
and they're not huge names either. They're just they know how to match up very well.
No, Nick Anderson might have been one of the best relievers in baseball, and I didn't even really hear about him until the end of the year when we had to play.
Right.
It's crazy. They do an incredible job with that team, and
it's
all it is. We got beat by the best team in the AL.
Yeah, and that's okay to say.
And I think looking back now, I think it's hilarious how many people were saying we should just lose that last game to try and play Tampa. And I'm like, Tampa is not the matchup anyone wants right now. Like, who wants to play that pitching staff?
Why would you want to play the top team? Doesn't matter that what you think they are. They're the top team this year.
Exactly. Whether you have familiarity with them or not, they're still the best team in the AL. And
they were amazing at home, and you know that they're going to play at home for all the games. Didn't matter if you went to game 3.
In the
They're all there. And then they don't move until like they don't move stadiums until now, right? Like,
exactly.
So why are you wanting to face them at home? Why are you wanting to take on that beast when they were 20-9?
I thought that was strange. Ridiculous. I heard it from everyone though. Like it wasn't just like a couple people. Like everyone seemed to be like, yeah, we want the Rays. I think it's just because they're familiar with the Rays and they're like, oh, we can beat the Rays. I've seen us play good against the Rays. Where like I would have been okay facing Cleveland, especially with how Shane Bieber looked. He looked a little bit more like Justin Bieber than Shane Bieber in game 1.
That was a tough go.
Like, you know what? Yes, Shane Bieber, dominant all year long, but playoffs are a different beast, man, and it showed against that.
It's the playoffs. And you know what? I think this playoffs proved that if you've been there once before, you can get there again. Doesn't matter where you came in this season. It was a weird season. You make it. You take that extra spot if you need that extra wild card spot, and you run with it.
Yeah.
Now it's like, I think all the regular names are there.
Yeah, we're looking at almost all the teams you thought would be here.
On the AL side, all here. I would say.
The AL side.
I don't know about the NL side. The NL side's a little.
The NL, that's a little different, but only one team, I think. Other than that, like the Astros, actually the Astros one was kind of strange. Given their history, it's not. But given
the Minnesota Twins too, so JD doesn't play in that series.
Yeah. They were in a tough spot.
They looked like ass everywhere else. Like just nobody was. I think Nelson Cruz was still being Nelson Cruz, but everybody else just dropped off. And Houston was not afraid to be Houston.
Jorge Polanco too. He had that error in game 1 that pretty much cost them the game.
Yep.
And like it's tough. It was a tough series. But other than that, like the Yankees, you kind of like I picked the Indians, but like the Yankees are always the Yankees. They can win you series, and they've done it in the past. The A's, I didn't think would beat the White Sox, but they were the second best team in the AL, right?
Yeah, it's
expected. And then the Rays, you expected the Rays to be there because they're better than the Jays.
Yeah, as soon as you knew matchups, absolutely. Once I saw that matchup, everybody picked Rays.
Yep.
I think you didn't. But that's okay.
No, I picked the Jays for fun. They didn't make it. Going on to the NL side, how fun was the Padres-Cardinals series?
Oh my God, that game 2 was just like, fuck. Like every time
I texted you and it was 4-0, right? And I'm like, I guess our Padres pick looks like shit.
Right.
And no sooner did they just all of a sudden turn on the Jets.
You can't count those bats out.
No, it was crazy because when I texted you, Fernando Tatis had struck out with the bases loaded.
Right.
And I'm like, this kid is doing nothing. Like, he wasn't great in game 1, wasn't great in the beginning of game 2, and then all of a sudden, you just give him one more chance, and here we go.
The Cardinals just kept giving them opportunity after opportunity after opportunity, which is...
And it's not like you're giving opportunities to the bottom of their lineup and guys that can't hit or something. You're giving opportunities to Fernando Tatis Jr.
Manny
or Manny Machado or Will Myers, guys that can hurt you. And
Will Myers gets absolutely buried in that lineup as a hitter. And Eric Hosmer has come around at points too. But that's what I mean. Like, they just like put people there that just kind of buries Will. And then Will Myers, he pimped too with Fernando. Like, they just both were like gone.
Unbelievable.
And the best thing was every time off the bat, it wasn't even like is it going? It was like, this thing is crushed. I just read you like the child's book that you are pitching up there. It was crazy.
It was really funny because James Shields tweets out near the end of that game, and he goes, "Boy, what an impact I've had on this game," because he was traded for both Tatis and Will Myers.
That's tough.
Both players he got traded for had a combined 4 home runs, and I think it was 8 RBIs, something like that. 8 or 9 RBIs in the game. It was funny. Got a feel for the guy, but what a fun team that is, man. I hate a handful of players on that team, but like as a whole, dude, they just don't give up.
That their bats, you can never count them out. They just showed that. Like,
and Fernando Tatis is an absolute electric factory. Dude. And just everything, like, he hits that home run and you could just feel the vibe.
I know that's exactly why you started the last segment that we're going to talk about.
Yep.
I know that's exactly why, because as soon as I saw that down there, I was like, I know exactly what we're doing. Like, without a doubt, I knew exactly.
He's the most fun player in baseball. I'm sorry. There's nobody else. And it's like, there's a lot of guys that have a lot of fun playing the game, and I really like the way they play the game. But none of them are Fernando Tatis. I'm sorry. God. And it's just, we've talked about him time after time. He's incredible.
He's so good out there.
He's so good. And he just does so, like that bat flip. Some people are trying to compare it to Bautista. I think that's very incorrect. But it's still sick.
It's like, hyped up there. Can you imagine if there's a crowd though, right? Like they would have been out there rockers.
They'd be on the field.
Right.
They would have been running on the field. I would have been running on the field.
That would have been insane.
It was unbelievable. And like what he does for that team and what he does for the game, it's incredible. We'll bring that up a little bit later too, because we have a couple more games to go over. We might as well just talk about the next round. Shout out to the Marlins for starters.
Yes.
They have never lost a series in franchise history, which is incredible. They are now, 9-0 throughout the
look at them go.
Throughout series in the postseason. Two World Series championships and a first round win against a team I didn't really give them much of a chance against. And they had to face Yu Darvish, and they didn't do much for a while, but they did just enough to beat him.
But Yu Darvish pitched well. It was the aftermath. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? It was the pitchers that came in for Yu Darvish, and that's what a lot of that was. And then it's also, I think most of it, like, nothing to take away from Miami, but the Cubs really beat themselves. Like, Baez, Bryant, and Rizzo all hit, I think, under 200.
Yeah, they weren't good.
They just and
Craig Kimbrell wasn't good either. Like, Craig Kimbrell's never
and you
good,
tip your hat to Miami. Like, there's nothing to take away from what they did. And if you're gonna make 3 of their stars do that, then you're gonna win every fucking series. Mm-hmm. Like, you're gonna win.
Sixto Sanchez, man, had an incredible game 2 stars. Like, I looked at that matchup. I'm like, oh, Yu Darvish is going. Then I saw Sixto on the other side. I'm like,
heat.
Just why? Like, I know the baseball guys. Like, if you're a true baseball guy, you kind of knew about Sixto Sanchez, but this is a kid that you didn't really hear about league wide.
I think he's like 23.
Just came in and he was great every time he had to pitch.
At like 99, 90. I saw him throw 99 a whole bunch of times, and I was like, wow.
Yeah,
and that's tough.
Really good. And this is your game 2 guy. Like, they did great. And tip your hat to Don Mattingly. He took a team of absolute scrubs and replaced them with bigger scrubs.
Right.
Partway through the year, and brought them to the playoffs and won a round. So shout out to the Marlins for everything they've done this year and what they've had to overcome.
However,
no shout outs to the Cardinals because they're a bunch of scumbags, and I'm glad they're out. I don't care what they had to overcome. They didn't do it that way. They just waited until other guys get back. Scumbags, every one of them.
I think one team that I'm sad to see go was the Reds, but I'm also happy to see the Braves. Like that was one of my I
like
pick
the
either
Braves.
team.
I really like the Braves,
but I do like the Braves.
But the Reds pitching staff should have won the World Series. Like, how do you have 3 of the best pitchers in baseball right now and you're done in 2 games? They didn't score a run.
Trevor Bauer could get paid.
Yeah.
Huge.
22 innings, they couldn't score a run.
Right.
22 innings. That's just embarrassing. Like, Trevor Bauer went out, nutted up, and dominated game 1 for you, and you couldn't put up a run in 14 innings or whatever it was. Like, come on.
I don't think he goes back because of that.
I would,
to be honest.
I wouldn't. Get me someone that can hit
some runs.
Crazy.
Yeah.
But it's fun to see the Rays go through. Dodgers, we don't even need to talk about. That was a given. Clayton Kershaw, though, was incredible.
I hope he gets that monkey off his back because they're gonna need it. You know what I mean? Like there's no easy round from here on out because here's what's gonna happen. You're obviously facing the Padres right now.
Yep.
And then good chance you're gonna go see the Braves.
Yeah, I would say.
Yeah.
What is that? Braves and Marlins? Hey man, don't count out the Marlins. They're undefeated.
I'm not counting out the Marlins, but the Braves just.
But it's more likely to be the Braves than it is the Marlins.
They hit Freddie Freeman, Marcell Ozuna, like. It keeps going. You know what I mean?
Yeah, the team's.
Dansby Swanson when he wants to hit.
Mm-hmm.
Alba's when he wants to hit. Like.
It's probably going to be the Braves.
But
like it sucks because you're listening to Clayton Kershaw pitch the entire time and constantly it's just like, oh, his playoff career hasn't been that great. Maybe this is the game that gets him out of it. And that seems to be the conversation around Clayton Kershaw is that he used to be not good. But I think he's starting to get past that. Like last year, he was good in the playoffs, other than that one blip. Or the year before, he was good. This year, he went 8 shutout innings with what? 12.
We all have to remember that this is not usually the time that playoffs come rolling around in the amount of games.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
He's not used to playing in games that matter that much.
Everybody is in full swing. This is when everybody is at their peak.
Yeah.
And making a push for their MVP votes and all that good shit. Like, so you gotta expect that you were gonna see the absolute best out of anybody because they're just like, this is half a season.
Yeah, he was great. I love it. Let's go. Let's do some predictions for this next round. How about
predictions?
Yeah, we might as well. I'll get the games up here. Houston, Oakland.
Oh my God, Oakland! I don't even want to say anything about Houston. But
is it best of 5 or is it best of 7?
Oh, I thought you would know, to be honest.
I thought I would know too, but
I was sitting here like, he's going to get this. Okay. But either
standing
way.
By.
Yeah.
Sorry. You can just talk while I figure it out.
I don't know if I want to pick Houston because I just don't. Best of 5. Okay, so we're back. I want to say.
I don't want to pick Houston either.
I want to say Oakland in 5.
I want to say Oakland in 2. Because I don't want to see the Houston Astros even win the amount.
I think they're going.
I want to see them lose less than they deserve.
I think they're going all 5 games. Yeah, but they're going to go all 5 games. They're going to go to the final game, and I think it's going to be Oakland in 5 games.
Did you see the comments that Carlos Correa made?
No.
Oh man,
I don't care.
I'm not gonna pull him up, but he was just talking about like, oh, a lot of people want to hate on the Astros or hate on us right now. Well, look where we are. It's like, shut the fuck up. They don't hate on you because you're a bad team. They hate on you because you're absolute scum.
The only thing that they have going for them is that there are no fans showing up to wherever they go to make them feel like. And can you imagine how bad they would be, even if they have records like that now? They're
bad without fans. Like, imagine having to face that every day.
Oh. I hope America just said, "Fuck it, let the fans go," and they go, and they boo them so mercilessly.
So if they make,
was it 25%? Didn't they sell playoff tickets?
Yeah, I don't know what the. I know it's like at least 10,000 people. So like, if you end up making it to the championship series, and they get to face some fans, I am really excited for that.
They are going to get fucking booed.
Yep, I'm so excited for that.
But you know what? They're not making it past this round. The Oakland A's.
I really hope they don't. The Oakland A's, to me, didn't win round 1 though. Like, I think the Chicago White Sox lost round 1. Like, they tried to galaxy brain their first move by pulling Dane Dunning in game 3 after 15 pitches. And even though he wasn't really that bad, and then Garrett Crochet got hurt in inning 2 while he was dealing. Mm-hmm. And then you lose Eloy Jimenez after he doubles. And it's just like the team just kind of ran out of people. Like, they didn't have anyone. It kind of sucked. But
Okay. Well, I think they're starting. So the A's are starting Chris Bassett.
Okay. I've heard the name. Isn't he a bullpen guy, though?
I don't know.
Chris is a bullpen arm.
And then Sean Manaea.
Manaea's a good arm. I like it.
Game 2.
Yeah.
So Lance McCullers Jr. will go for the Astros. And then Framber Valdez. No Zach Greinke.
In game 1 or 2?
No.
Bold play. I mean, I get it, but you've also had 4 days off, no? 3?
Right.
When did they last play? They swept, right? So that was Tuesday. So they 6 days in between games, and you're not going to use Zach Greinke?
No. There might be something
respect
wrong.
It. I hope you lose in 3. I'm taking A's in 4.
Okay, A's in 5.
All right. I should probably write these down because
That's okay.
I think we can run that. We're smart guys.
We're smart guys. I know I'm going to say A's. I know who I'm always going to say.
Yeah.
Don't me do it. While we're talking, I can do it.
Yeah, you write it down. I'll bring up the next. Yankees Rays.
Oh my God, is it bad? I want to say the Yankees.
So the Yankees went 2-8 against the Rays this year.
Really?
Yeah.
But the Yankees are now healthy.
Yeah, but the Yankees were healthy when they played the Rays too.
Where are they playing?
Texas? Okay. Arizona. One of the two.
I don't know
Texas or Arizona.
I don't know if home field really matters anymore.
Does not. It's a bubble situation now. So
right. So that's what I'm saying. The Yankees are kind of hot.
Yep.
The Yankees just took out who we thought was one of the best pitching.
I thought they were going to the World Series. The Indians. Right. I thought it was going to be Indians and Dodgers in the World Series.
I think that they're better on paper, the Indians were, than the Rays.
Yeah. I don't know. I think the top end. Actually, maybe not even that.
Dude, you have Shane Bieber. Like, you would take Bieber over
Tampa
Blake
Bay has like 28 guys that are the exact same person.
Okay, right.
Whereas the Indians,
if you had a series versus Cleveland versus the Rays, you would have taken Cleveland. Because we took Cleveland over the Yankees, and the Yankees just swept them and made them look dumb.
Yeah, when you match it up, so Cleveland's lineup outside of Ramirez and Lindor, there's not a lot of anything there. Josh Naylor was.
But they had to carry Carlos Santana. Like, he had like a 211 and like a 2.8. Like, it was low.
He was Slaptana. Like, Shane Bieber, obviously a great pitcher. I guess Plesac didn't get it done. Was Plesac game 2? Who pitched game 2?
Carrasco? No.
I thought Carrasco had game. Whatever. Either way, whoever was in game 2 didn't get it done.
No, Bieber had game 1.
Yeah.
So Carrasco had game 2.
I thought Carrasco was supposed to go game 3.
I don't know, man. I know they lost.
Either way,
I checked the highlights, but they just got pumped.
The one thing that can beat hot hitting is really good pitching, and that's kind of what the Rays have, as we mentioned. I think it's going to be a great series.
It's a problem though, going that many good hitters, and you forget some, right? Like, you got to face Judge, Stanton, home run leading Luke Voit,
DJ LeMahieu, who gets on every bat.
Gio Urshela, who comes alive in the play. Like,
he's just hot as hell now too. Like, he came in hot as hell.
You're
Gleyber Torres looks good again.
Yes, and then you go to their bullpen, or not even their bullpen. Sorry, like, their bullpen, but then they're starting pitching. Like, you have Tanaka.
Yeah, I don't disagree with you, but to me, after Garrett Cole, I think Garrett Cole obviously takes a nod in the matchup with Blake Snell. Right. But after that, I don't have a lot of faith in Masahiro Tanaka right now
against the Jays.
Who?
Tyler Glasnow was yeah. Right. These are guys that can hit, and these are guys that hit hard and are experienced hitters, and they're deep. They're the Yankees. They're not they're not a pushover team. It doesn't matter that in the season they were 2-8. They're in the playoffs right now, and they just swept, and they're meeting the Rays, and they think that they have every chance to make it to the World Series.
Yeah.
And they're.
You know what? I'm gonna take Rays in 5, but you could very easily convince me Yankees in 3, because you never know with that lineup which one shows up, and you never know with the Rays bullpen and their starting rotation. Which, like I said, Glasnow didn't look good.
I'm gonna say
could be good.
Yankees in 4.
Who knows? Yankees in 4.
Okay. Yeah, I'm thinking that they're gonna maybe lose one game.
Okay.
Well,
so those are just the 2 AL series. We kind of already touched on this, but the Marlins and Braves.
Yeah, dude. You know what's kind of shitty though? I just want to say like Braves in 3, and that's gonna suck.
I know. I don't see the Marlins taking a game off the Braves.
It's so tough unless like the same pitching woes that we saw from the Braves last year kind of come back in, because let's not forget they don't have Mike Soroka.
No, this is
so like you're in this
Mike Soroka in the last round and they dominated.
Just I don't know.
Max Fried looked really good.
Okay, but we've also seen Max Fried look really bad.
I don't know, man. It's just
I know that
I'm just that I just don't like. I don't think it's going to be a 3-game series by any means. I think the Marlins have earned the respect to say it goes at least 4.
I think that because you listed this 9-0 stat, and that they were just like so hot, I think the Braves are going to come in and go, all right, here's 3 losses.
All right, I'm going to say Braves in 4.
Okay.
What are you thinking, 3?
Yeah, I think this is my sweep series.
Okay.
I like to do a sweep series every round.
Right. I don't disagree with you. I don't. If it would have been Braves and Marlins in the first round with the same amount of games that we have right now, I probably would have said Braves in 3. But I watched that Marlins team play, and I think they're nothing to shake a stick at. I think they can steal a game at some point.
Dude, but they're not that.
They're not winning the series, and I don't have that much faith in them. I hope I eat every one of those words because it's
honestly,
so much cooler
if you
of
can
a
eat
story.
all these words, then Miami's going all the way. Like then I'm hopping on the wagon, but
they're beating Dodgers or Padres, doesn't matter. Speaking of Dodgers Padres, I think it's the best series of the bunch. I
think this is going to be the closest. I think it's going to be the most entertaining.
I think it's going 5. I don't have a goddamn clue who's going to win it.
Okay, I would have said that if you asked me before this last round started.
Yeah,
I would have told you that it could have been anybody's series. I think because that last round, the Dodgers are not going to let you back in games the way that the Cardinals did.
No, but the Dodgers
that is the biggest thing to worry.
Dodgers bats weren't phenomenal, and they faced a team that was under 500 this year that has no pitching.
But they're the Dodgers bats.
They are the Dodgers, and there's always that. But it's also the postseason Dodgers,
right?
Who you never know. Like Mookie Betts, always going to be Mookie Betts. I have faith in that man every time he steps on the field.
That Turner is going to be Turner again.
Yeah, there's a chance. Like we're talking about a team that scored 4 runs in game 1.
But this is a year that they got back Corey Seager, who's been dynamite, like I always say, and now he's in a playoff position, right?
Yeah.
Like I don't think that this is. I don't know. Like that's what I mean, though. And in the pitching, the Padres pitching though didn't really.
Well, here's the thing: is I think a lot of the Padres' success right now has to do on whether or not they get Clevenger and Lamet back, because Dinelson Lamet was their ace.
I think I said last time they wouldn't, but I think they both will. They're both expected to be on this roster.
See, that's a big thing for me, because like if they get Lamet and Clevenger back, and you have the same team that just played and just won a game with 9 relievers, may I mention, in 9 innings,
right?
I could see them taking the series. But if you don't have both of those two, I think you can have one and to be close. But I think you need both to win the series. And if they don't have both of them back, I don't like their chances.
I'm pretty sure that they do. I think that I'm trying to look right now, and I don't see them on the injury report.
Okay.
So I think that both of them are, in fact, back. Okay, it says they're still waiting on a report. On a status update.
They might sit versus the Dodgers as of 2 hours ago. But another one says they may return against Dodgers. So there's nothing on here.
This is like when you're playing fantasy football and some dude is questionable and you're like, what in the fuck does questionable mean?
I don't know.
Is he in or is he out? Can I start him? Can I not? He's doubtful. I hate that call too. He's doubtful. But like he can still be in there.
And then you play. This is exactly that situation. We're playing fantasy ball, and they're not telling us what the hell is going on with these two.
Oh.
So Jace Tingler, holy, said each one is day to day.
That's an
so it's like feels like each one will take a half step forward and another half step forward and then half step back. So it's like I don't know, man. Like This is honestly not a series I can predict until that happens. But
I'm going.
If it happens,
I'm going Dodgers in 4. I think that doesn't say anything about the series. I think the series is going to be close, but I think that it's just going to be Dodgers in 4, and that's the.
You think it's going to be like 6-5 games, but they're going to win it?
Yeah, they're all going to be like. I think their last game was 7-5, right? I think like they played that in September, so like they're going to be close. They're going to be high scoring, probably like more often than not. I don't think that pitching. Obviously when you see Clayton Kershaw, if he's going to deal again, then sure. But we've also seen bad Clayton Kershaw. And this is a lineup that you have to tip your hat to, who just continues to hit.
Yeah.
So I think that, but I just think the Dodgers they're too talented. They're too deep. There are too many names that just can hit and continue to prove them they can do that in the playoffs.
Yeah, my opinion has been varying this entire time we've been talking about this segment.
I can see it. There's a lot burden in your mind right now.
Man, they're so good. Like the Dodgers, incredible team up and down. I think if San Diego's healthy, they have a chance to win it. But because even if Clevenger and Lamet come back, they're probably not going to be healthy enough to be what they are.
Like Mike Clevenger hasn't seen the Dodgers in the playoffs.
No.
Right? Let's not forget, like he has been an AL side, and
this sucks.
The NL
I'm going to say Dodgers in 5.
Okay.
It could also be Dodgers in 3, depending on how.
It could be Dodgers.
Like we need Chris. If Chris Paddock isn't good, I don't have a lot of faith in Zach Davies, and I definitely don't have faith in a bullpen game.
No.
So.
But yeah, that's why I think it's close. But the Dodgers are probably going to take game 1, 2.
Mm-hmm.
They're going to throw out Walker Buehler. They're going to throw out Clayton Kershaw.
Yep.
You're probably going to get those games. Clayton Kershaw's got confidence now. Let's not forget, he
did just dominate.
He dominated. And I get it. You can say whatever about the team they played, but the team they played made it to the playoffs.
Mm-hmm.
The Brewers are
You're right. You're right.
So
we'll see. I think San Diego's riding that hot streak where they're at the top of the world right now, and everyone in San Diego is letting them know it. So who knows? They could just ride that wave and just dominate with the bats in game 1 and 2. You don't know. Yeah. No one knows.
It's going to be a fun series, though.
It's going to be. I'm really excited for this round.
This is going to be the same old boys versus the new kids on the block.
It's going to be fun, if you will.
Yeah. Oh, fun.
Speaking of fun, I wanted to do a little activity because, as we mentioned,
we are fun.
Watching the most fun guy in baseball.
But we are fun guys.
We like to have fun. That's what we're here for. We like to watch teams that have fun. So what we're going to do, because I think it's obvious that Fernando Tatis Jr. is the most fun player in baseball. And fun. I love everything he does. So what we're going to do is to give some other guys some respect.
Do you have a jersey?
I feel like you should get a jersey. I'm going to make sweaters for this. I'm actually going to create a design for the website that we're going to start to sell.
Okay.
Keep your eyes open. Looks pretty sick, but yeah, keep those things open. Yeah. So we want to just kind of give a little bit of respect for the rest of the ball players around the league to play the game the right way, if you will, and have a lot of fun with it. So what we're going to do, Brandon and I have both created teams. There's some holdovers on both teams.
But there's some very different opinions, too.
Yeah, so we have 2 teams. We're going to fill out a roster of the players we think are the MLB all-fun team, if you will. Not necessarily the best, not necessarily
the worst.
No, not necessarily guys that are just going to win you World Series every year, but the guys that go out there, play the game what we consider the right way, and have a lot of fun.
I kind of went 2 ways as well on it.
Okay.
Because you had posed it like the guys who just have fun, who don't give a shit about the rules. So what I mean? There's some guys that are just having fun being the enemy, and there's some guys who are having fun being the good old baseball player that they are.
Okay.
And I think that's what was really fun about this.
Okay.
This question.
It was an interesting activity once I actually started to get to it, because there's 3 or 4 names that everyone's going to look at and be like, that's the guy. There's no other starting pitcher that has as much fun as so and so.
And I think if you see this and you want to comment some players that we didn't,
yeah, sure, by all means, I'll probably
clip
this
post
and put
it on. Please argue with us.
Probably going to clip this and make it smaller. So if you guys are listening, Great. Thank you. Let us know your teams in the comments below, no matter what social media this is on.
Yeah, man.
But yeah, without further ado, we'll start with first base. I get. Who you got at first base?
My first baseman is good old Miguel Cabrera.
Okay.
I think he, no matter what, has the most fun. He talks to everybody at first base.
Yeah.
He is smiling. It's still in Detroit. He doesn't care if you're winning, losing. He's been in Detroit his entire career. He's having fun.
Big prankster guy too. Like he just like jokes around with guys on the first. I'll give you that one. I saw you write that down. I'm like, I agree with it. I think he does have a lot of fun.
I think he enjoys the game of baseball. He enjoys playing it. That's why he keeps playing it. And he's that old school style of, you know what, this is my team that I've chosen to now like represent, and I want to, you know what I mean, when he goes down to the Hall of Fame, he'll get that Detroit Tigers patch on it, and he'll be smiling away.
Okay. I don't disagree with you. I think it's a good pick. I had Anthony Rizzo.
Okay.
Because for me, they're similar in a way. I think Anthony Rizzo just loves playing the game of baseball. He loves to be out there. There's never not a smile on that guy's face. Mm-hmm. And on top of that, just the way he plays the game is just so much fun. And he just loves to go out there and hit and do this and that and just loves to be there. Obviously, he's had a down couple years. But
he's a really fun batting stance too, I find.
It's something about him.
I got a friend who calls him the humper because he just kind of like gyrates in the air as he's getting ready. He's like, I'm gonna get this ball.
He's got that he chokes up too, where it's just rip it and go ahead.
Fun out there. Yeah.
I just love the way Anthony Rizzo plays the game. So to me, he's my first baseman. But I see yours. I like yours too. I don't disagree with yours at all.
Appreciate it.
Second base, I think we had the same guy.
I had to flex it though because I had shortstop took the cake for some reason. Apparently, if you're playing shortstop, you're gonna have a great
shortstops are fun. I have 3 of them on my team.
Right. I left out too. Another name I did leave out was Francisco Lindor, who always smiles.
I didn't even think of Lindor. And Lindor is so much fun.
There was just so many guys.
There's so many shortstops too. I had Javi Baez at 2. I moved him over to second.
Yeah. Was Javi Baez.
Right? Because he's played second. That's fair.
I think he flexes over. He's, you know, I mean, I kind of bent the rules a little bit because no one else really does flex over there out of the other 2 shortstops that I have. So
no,
but Javi was fun. I remember the time, but I remember the time that he went left-handed for a left-handed batter.
He did it this year.
A pitcher who was a position player.
Yeah,
he flipped the bat.
He did it this year. Hit a bomb.
Yeah,
incredible. But no other player is going to go up there and think, you know what? I've never hit left before. Let's fucking try it. And then hit lefty in a major league ball game.
And representing, what was it, Puerto Rico?
Yeah, he's tagging guys while he's not even looking. He's pointing. Come on. There's no one that has, I love Fernando Tatis. He has the most fun in the game. He's the most fun player to watch. But nobody enjoys the game the way Javi Baez enjoys the game. It's you can't beat it. He's just... incredible ball player.
He makes me laugh constantly.
His swing is all in or all out. You either hit it over the wall or it's going to the pitcher.
Right, and he just
I love
Baez. Yeah,
I'm
much fun. That we had
he's
that
an incredible ball player. That's an easy choice. He has to be on your team.
Yeah.
Third base.
Oh my God! You want me to go first?
Yeah, I do.
I pick JD.
Yeah, that's fair.
Josh Donaldson. Now, he has fun being the asshole. Yeah. That is the thing about he wants to be the bad boy of baseball. And
kicking dirt onto the plate because it doesn't actually exist anyways.
The blow the whistle game.
The blow the whistle game was one of my favorite things I've been a part of.
So if you ever saw the blow the whistle game, the Chicago White Sox, whenever I think it was hit a bomb or even get a hit.
It was anytime they had a nice play.
The batting coach or the coach would blow a whistle.
Yeah.
And JD heard it and he hit a bomb. Then when he but he hit a bomb that game. And when he gets on it, he blows the whistle.
He did the blow in the right.
And then the next game was the game that you and I went to when we sat in outfield. And we looked at what their walk-up songs were. JD's walk-up song for the first time was Blow the Whistle.
Just shows up. I remember sitting there as the song comes on. I'm like, tell me this is JD. Yes. Sure enough, buddy comes to the plate. Just loves being the enemy.
Wants to be, and that is fun for him, and that gets him just fired up, and I love it. I want you to be that way, man.
Yeah,
that's why that's why I fell in love with you as a J.
Yeah,
you brought that swagger that the team needed, and you continue to do it even no matter what team you're on, and that's why at least one team will always pay him. You know what I mean? They love what he brings. The attitude.
He's just a good guy to have on your team.
Right.
I do love your pick, and he would be on my bench because I really wanted to pick him, but I figured I'd be a little different with things.
Okay.
I went to the same team, actually. But I went to a guy that didn't really play a lot this year because JD came in. But I went with noted fan favorite Willians Astudillo
Yes.
because that guy is the most turtle-looking man you'll ever see. Just so funny. But
I have no
he
qualms.
plays everything, and he plays everything okay. But he's just so fun. Like he's round.
Okay player.
He does the job. He's a catcher. He plays third. He can play outfield. He's not fast, but he tries to make himself look fast. He's got that flowing curly locks.
He gets the balls.
He gets the balls. There was a play last year he made on third where he ran all the way to the wall, basically in left field, and made the catch at the wall. Incredible. He's just so much fun, and I could not have him on the
list. It's fun for us as well. You know, as much as he's fun, that's like I couldn't even take that pick away from you. You know, I agree with that. Great.
He's not a very good ball player. And like I said, I'm not trying to win the World Series with this team. I'm just trying to have maximum fun, and for me, Willians Astudillo does it.
All right.
So shortstop, this is a given.
Yep.
I don't think if you have anyone else on your list, you're wrong. But
if you weren't listening to our podcast,
we've mentioned it numerous times. But it's for both of us. It's Fernando Tatis Jr. I don't think we need to say much on him. If you want to say something, you can. But we have mentioned him. We have praised his bat flipping abilities. He hits grand slams on 3-0 counts. He steals third with 2 outs on the same guy he did it against.
When did we become so offended at
I don't know
at rivalry, showmanship like that? Like bring that in the game. You guys are the best of the best. Yeah. You were MLB baseball players. If you were gonna bitch and complain because somebody pimped your ball out there, you know what you do? You go back out the next inning and you pitch better. You strike him out.
Better. If you don't like it, pitch better.
And tell him to take a base or whatever. You fucking get out there and you pitch better the next time.
I love it. Guys fucking tagging up on fly balls the second baseman.
He doesn't care. Yeah, he just does.
So fast.
He plays to win.
I love so many things about that guy.
Agreed.
It's great.
Fucking
moving on, because so there's our infield.
No.
Catcher. I missed the catching spot. I had that in the wrong spot.
That's okay.
Who do you got at catcher?
I got Sally Perez.
Yeah, that's fair. Originally, I had him, and I think Sal's a great guy.
I think he just every time I picture him up to bat, I think he's smiling. You know, I like that. He's got a wicked arm.
Yeah.
He's not much of a runner, and yet, you know, he finds himself on first.
He chugs away.
He just goes. He plays. Yeah. He's been part of great Royals teams. He's been part of bad Royals teams. He's just been Sally. Like he
tore his ACL trying to carry his own luggage, which I thought was hilarious at the time. Don't. If you're in the majors, why are you carrying your luggage for starters?
Sally, if you're listening to this, call me up. I'll carry your luggage. Don't even worry about it.
Buddy, you want to hire me to carry your luggage? I'll carry your luggage.
You pay for the flight, I'm there.
Carry whatever you want to carry. But yeah, he is a great guy. I don't disagree with that pick. My pick, similar to what we just did on third base, my pick's more of doesn't mind being the enemy a little bit, and it's Wilson Contreras.
Yeah.
I think Wilson Contreras has an absolute hose of an arm.
He does.
So he throws out so many guys, and it's just fun to see him do that. And he plays great defense as a catcher. Then he hits nukes, and he does it with such flair that it's just I like Wilson Contreras.
Not the best.
I had him as the best catcher in baseball up until the beginning of this year because I think Real Muto's passed him now. I think he's the best catcher in baseball, but I still put Wilson top 3. Yeah. What he can do just all around in the game, I think he's really good at it. And he doesn't mind being hated a little bit. He's got that swagger to him. He's got that attitude where it's just like, beat me, I dare you. And it's just, it's really fun. I like it.
No, I agree. I like that pick.
Now we're done the infield.
All
right. You didn't specify your outfield, right? Just 3 outfielders, didn't matter which position?
I think it kind of worked out to be like they actually did work to be 3 outfielders that play those positions, but I just kind of went.
I think mine are technically all 2 left fielders and 1 center fielder, but either way, we just did 3 outfielders.
Yeah.
So who's your first?
Juan Soto. I think that man has some fucking fun.
He's just got that flair. He had the whole stare down thing.
Stares at you and he
does that crouch and he
gets
in your head. And then the whole thing last year with Bregman being a dickhead and carrying his bat to first base and handing it to the coach, and then Soto doing it 2 innings later and just It was great. I love it. He plays the game with like so hard and has so much fun with it. And
I think a lot of our guys too are pretty young, and they're taking on like a new.
Yeah, my average age is like under 25.
Right, like they're taking on a new age of baseball, right? Like none of these guys are, I think, like really over 30. Like, you know what I mean? Minus like Sally, and then there's there's JD. Like it's just like, well, Maggie, but yeah, like I don't know. It's kind of weird.
Your
like,
team's a little older than mine, but
a little older. But at the same time, they're just like
a lot of young guys that are just
style of baseball.
I think they're turning the game of baseball into something that like young people want to see, where it's just like the thrash and
man. Like, what's the most entertaining thing about soccer? Like when they score the goals, like that goes, you go nuts.
Yeah.
What's the most entertaining thing in hockey? When you score a goal, like you don't celebrate any other time except when you score a goal.
No, I agree. It's fun. Like, I just love guys playing the game this way, and it's great. The young kids are doing
that. I want to see the emotion. I want to see that swagger to it.
Speaking of swagger, outfielder number 2, who you got?
I got Mookie Betts.
Okay.
That man has fun.
Yeah.
He still has a swagger to him. I don't care what anybody says. Okay. I think he carries himself with a bit of he knows he's the best player right now. Doesn't matter which division he's in, doesn't matter which team he's on. He's like, you know what, I'm just gonna be the best.
I don't necessarily disagree with you. I think he does have a lot of fun.
Fun playing.
He wasn't in my top 3 though.
No.
Because it's just I think there's some other guys that are just they love the game and the way they play it. My second guy, I don't know if you also put him, Ronald Acuna Jr.
Yep.
Ronald Acuna Jr. I don't know how you left him off your roster because the guy, the bat flips he throws out and the swagger he has and just the way he plays defense and the massive chains he has and everything he does is just so fun. So fun.
Like, I don't know. Yeah, I had Mookie Betts for the fun aspect. I told you I flipped back and forth. I think Acuna absolutely has got that.
Yeah.
He has times, but I've just also seen times where he just like mistakes.
Yeah, he doesn't have last year when he roped the double off the wall that he turned into a single because he didn't run. Like obviously he has some gaps, but just like the way he plays the game is just so
he's good. Yeah,
he has some of the biggest bat flips you'll ever see.
Oh, man, and he's got some big pimp home runs too. He just this man's getting stronger.
Yep, he's gonna be elite for years to come.
Right.
Third outfielder, who do you have?
I think this person had a lot of fun this season.
Okay.
I had Lourdes Gurriel Jr. Okay. Watching him play this year, he was happy to be out there.
Yeah.
He just the hair is fucking great.
It's hilarious. He's a positive guy.
He's a very positive guy. He plays so hard out in outfield and just like smiles at all the boys and like, dude, he is better than Vlad right now.
Oh yeah, he's the best of the 4 right now.
Right.
It's not close to me. It's like until Bo can prove over a long period of time. You know what
they did, man? They pushed him out. They said, "Hey, you got to go to the left field if you want to play and if you want consistent time."
He couldn't make a throw from second.
No, second seemed like the moon to him.
Yeah. But that was weird. I was talking about this yesterday, and it's just like this is a guy that had to go to the minors last year because he couldn't figure out second base.
But then
he's our full-time starting left fielder.
But they didn't even flex him over to third, right? Like some people even make that transition because you're on the same half of the diamond. Like it's a longer throw, but like, are you worried about his arm? Like he could develop that arm to get there, and like you said, like we weren't in a position where it's like they're winning.
He definitely has the arm.
But he has an arm. And he showed that because he throws it from he throws it from left.
He throws out everybody. It's crazy. I'll give you that. He's
getting into that fun point of baseball where like it's coming easy. I actually have 2 young Jays on this list because they were the reason why this team had success and they really showed they had fun doing it. And he's the first one.
Didn't end up picking any Jays just because I don't know. Maybe it's because I'm so close to the team that it's just like I just see it every day and I don't really think of it. And they're just fun to me.
But exactly, but they are fun to you and they were fun to me. And it's a fun team.
Fun. Everything's fun.
Fun. That's what we're here for.
I had Luis Robert out of Chicago. I don't even know what it is about him. Just like the way he plays and like just the confidence that man exudes. Yeah. Like he's catching balls in right field from center field over top of the right fielder because whatever, I can get there. Watch me go. Yeah. And like he had a really hot start and he kind of tailed off, but the guy is just I don't even know what it is about him. It's just the way he hits balls and the confidence and all that. I like it.
He's made it look fun this year, for sure.
He's had a lot of fun. Yeah. It's obviously really early in his career and he's got a long way to go.
For a rookie season to
Yeah. Yep. Yeah. So there's our lineups. Do you want to go DH first, or do you want to go?
Yeah, yeah. I had to flex again, the shortstop, because there was just too many. But my other J, bEHsball. Okay. I think when he is in and he's hitting, and this one was actually the first one that I put down because you said doesn't care about the rules. And I remember the pitching problem that he had, I'm pretty sure it was with Kershaw.
Yeah.
Where he pimped one off Kershaw, and Kershaw was like, that's a pitch you don't hit. Yeah. Because I think it was just like a get you in the count fastball. And we know both swings.
Crunched it.
We know both swings, and he swings hard, and he doesn't care. He does it. Yeah. And besides the last playoff game, throughout the season, when he wasn't injured, he was playing. He plays with that same kind of like, I'm gonna be the best player.
He's got the swagger. Yeah. He doesn't have the size, which I think helps him because he's just this scrawny little dude that goes out there and rakes.
And every time that he swings that bat, like he's another guy that is just, I'm swinging. Yeah, I'm gonna hit it as hard as I can. It doesn't really matter where it goes. Like it's gonna go somewhere.
Yeah. That's for it. I don't hate the pick. I like it.
He made me have fun watching it.
I had Tim Anderson Jr.
Yeah,
he was the second most fun player in baseball for me.
Okay.
Because I don't know, man, just everything he does and the way he flips bats and the way he talks to other players.
You loved the baseball's like enemies. You know what I mean? You were just dude, I'm actually surprised.
There's something about like I never thought of Tim Anderson as anything any good until last year, and it's just something happened to his game last year that turned him into this guy that you hate to see, but he's just so fun to watch.
Yeah.
How hard he hits balls and the way he pimps them and like the confidence he has and just that swagger. It's tough to match, man.
It's fun to have swagger, apparently. Yeah. That's what we're trying to translate.
That's pretty much the most swagger team is what we got going on, but
they're fun. I don't know, man. That's what baseball is, man. Yeah.
I couldn't not put him on my team.
Like a lot of them
debated putting him on second, but he doesn't.
No, yeah, but he fits in DH for sure. I would love to see him just hit bombs out there.
Yep. Don't need him in the
bats, just like in the I wouldn't be surprised if he throws a bat and it just gets buried. Like that's so hard he throws it to the ground. It just that's it. It's over.
Yeah. So that's our lineups. We did one pitcher because I don't want to go.
Undoubtedly the best.
There's only one guy. Like pitchers are boring. That's pretty much it. There's not many out there. You know what? Amir Garrett's another one that I think if we did a bullpen, I probably would have put Amir Garrett in.
Okay. But I could have maybe made a case for Max Scherzer, to be honest.
Okay, Max Scherzer's a bit of a lunatic. I can give him that.
You like that?
Yeah, he's fun to watch.
Yeah, it's great to watch him get out there and do what he does and just be Max. But this guy,
it's Trevor Bauer because there's nobody else.
Probably the top free agent hitting the market this year.
Oh, he definitely is. He's probably going to win the Cy Young this year.
Oh my God, he's great.
And he does so much fun. Like he got pulled last year and chucked the ball over the center field wall.
And then immediately looks and goes, my bad. Like, I know that one's bad. Like, you know what I mean? Like, when you do that, and he's just like...
He turned it into merch. Like, he has his own merch of him hawking a ball over the thing.
I don't know if you know, but he's on YouTube.
And he has a vlog.
Dude, he is so hilarious. Him and Derek Dietrich were, like, together all summer, and they produced some of the best comments. Like, he would always rag on the Astros. He'd be like, this one brought to you by the Astros. Like, cheating to win.
He's not afraid to call out Rob Manfred at literally every turn. Like there hasn't been a move Rob Manfred's made that isn't called out by what do you call it? Trevor.
When Tim Anderson hit him, he's like, I'm surprised he didn't like say more. You know what I mean? Like put this on your blog.
Tim Anderson literally hits the home run. This is another Tim Anderson piece. Hits the home run and because he's coming around third, he goes, put that on your vlog. And he loves it. Like, he's like, hell yeah, I was hoping you would.
Yeah.
And he puts it on his vlog. He literally put it on his vlog.
Yeah.
Like, but there's no bad blood. That's the thing.
Was it this season? I think it was this season, maybe, or last season, when he actually started, like, telling people what he was doing. Like, he started just, like, tipping off his pitches.
I think it was last year. Yeah.
Like, he just was like, you know what, then fuck it. If you guys are going to cheat, I'm just going to tell you.
Yeah.
Like,
it was preseason. That's what it was.
Right, but he was just trying. He's like, even still preseason. Everybody else is taking it seriously, and he's going, fastball. Here you go. Like just telling you, and you're like, what the fuck?
he does it with no bad blood too. Like he's not chirping Tim Anderson just because he doesn't like Tim Anderson. He's chirping because he just loves to play the game that way.
One of my first memories of him was when he played against the Jays and he was a Cleveland Indian and he hurt his finger with a droid. I think it was a droid. Drone.
Yeah.
Those drone planes.
Yeah, fixing it.
And
he
what does
wasn't
he
even
do?
flying. He was fixing it.
What does he do? He tries to hide it, and he's dripping out, and he's like, "Nothing's happening. I'm good. I'm good." But what do you see? What's coming on the ball? There's like the ball is completely red, and he's no, that's not me. That wasn't me.
And then there was just the other day when he got into it with Acuna.
Yeah.
When Acuna chirped him, so he made that video compilation back, and like you could tell, like you know what, it was like solid chirping both ways, but then even Acuna goes, "Haha, you're funny, man. That's good." Yep. And then Trevor Bauer, class act, just goes, "Yeah, man, good luck the rest of the way. I hope you guys take it."
Right.
Like, he's a good guy, and he has fun, and he loves to play the game.
But he's not afraid to speak his mind. He's not afraid to just be him.
There's no other pitcher you can put. That's it. That's all it is, man.
He tops us off. He's the cherry on top of this great team.
I mean, Fernando Tatis is probably the cherry, but like, I would say Trevor Bauer's like the sprinkles.
Oh, you're sprinkling him. I don't know, man. I think
sprinkle Trevor Bauer.
Trevor Bauer isn't what makes the whole thing. You know, the cherry just like tops it off. Like cherry is just like that's it.
Oh, okay.
Fernando
Tatis is like the ice cream.
He's like the icing on it. You know what I mean? Around it.
He's everything. He's like the pizzazz, if you will.
Wow.
The pizzazz.
The pizzazz.
The pizzazz.
Why not? We might need to put that on a sweater. The pizzazz.
The pizzazz. I could do that.
I think you should. We've got the pizzazz. A Sports. We've got the pizzazz.
Hey, that's it for this week. I think we got nothing left.
Yeah, I think maybe one of the names I kind of wanted to say that I like missed.
Okay, yep.
Was Mike Trout.
Oh yeah.
At one point, I think that guy had a lot of fun playing baseball. There's a lot of promise in LA, or a lot of, at least he was told there's a lot of promise in LA, and this could be one of the biggest upsets for a career that we are witnessing. You know what I mean? Like,
we're going to see the best player of all time never have a World Series.
It almost got that point with Dirk Nowitzki for basketball. Steve Nash actually never won with 2 MVPs, and that kind of hurt. You know, as a Canadian basketball fan. But now
even it's like this is like we're talking about like
Mike Trout is the
we're talking about like
a baseball
the Michael
player.
Jordan, LeBron James, or the Wayne Gretzky, or the Peyton Manning. I was gonna say Eli. Like, or the Joe Montana, Tom Brady group, like the three there. Like, we're talking about none of them having rings, not just some good player. This is the best player of all time.
Yeah, like he is running the risk of never reaching even like an ALCS game, like doing anything.
Unless they figure some shit out with their pitching staff, he might not see the playoffs until
he leaves LA. The good thing is
LA.
that you sign Rendon, you sign Trout, like they're locked in.
They have arguably one of the better lineups in the AL.
Albert Pujols needs to retire. He needs to just stop thinking that he's going to help that team. Maybe help him as a batting coach.
Yeah.
Come back, take over the team if you want.
I like him. He's just not. He's obviously not what he used to be.
He can't do it anymore. You can't bring that power.
You still have Shohei, who I hope he figures his arm out.
But he looks really tough.
That's a tough look on you. But yeah, like you said, Rendon's there. Andrelton Simmons is there. David Fletcher had an incredible year. Mike Trout's the best player of all time, and he's still there. And
he's doing Mike Trout things. And another thing that I have a problem with is every time that he's up for the MVP and somebody says, yeah, but was it better than last season? Like, was it better than his MVP season? Like,
no, but he's still the MVP. Mike Trout should have a lot more MVPs than him. I'm okay that he doesn't because one of them would have taken it away from JD. But it's fine. I agree. I don't find Mike Trout to be fun, though. I think he's just incredible.
I think he had
He's a boring dude, though.
But he had fun playing there at one point. They were all smiles, and they were all
jumping up on the walls and hype.
Yes, but now it's like he won't risk it anymore. But
other than that, his whole career, he's been a pretty boring dude. Like, he's just not like...
He's been a very...
He's pretty vanilla.
You know what it is, though? I think we're not realizing how great he actually is. Like, the issue is because he's not like...
I'm not saying he's not the best player we've ever seen, but like...
You look.
He doesn't have that swagger of like he doesn't need to. Like he doesn't have the he doesn't have that attitude of like I'm the best in the world, but he is the best in the world. Whereas there's other guys that have the attitude that they're the best in the world, even though they're really not even top 10.
Okay, but like, would you say Sidney Crosby has that attitude?
No, and that's fine. I think
but
Crosby's
he's got
the best
cups
player in the hockey, but he doesn't. I wouldn't put him among like the most fun players in hockey either, right?
I don't know. He's fun to watch.
He's fun to watch, but as a person,
he missed my list because he's not having fun anymore.
I think if he won more, here we go again. If Mike Trout's team won more, he would probably make this list. But because his GM sucks, no.
They need to really reevaluate what they're doing there.
Yeah. Now that's it from this week. I think you got anything left? No.
No, I'm good.
We got merch. I'll my link in the description. It's right here. We're making these still. Our Jackie Robinson shirts not doing the greatest right now, but we're donating all profits to cancer. So if you want to go in there, take a look at those. I don't know where they went right now, but I don't have the copy on me. They're not that expensive. They're pretty cheap. We got them off of that other site now. We do all the shipping and stuff ourselves, so it's fairly cheap.
A lot cheaper now.
Yeah. I'm gonna have a few more MLB postseason designs coming out in the next few days. Subscribe to us. Link below.
All around.
Not link down there. If you're listening, it's not down there, but go to YouTube. Subscribe to our YouTube channel. Like us on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, all that stuff.
Everywhere you can.
Yeah.
We're on everything.
Yep. bEHssports.com. Check us out.
Support.
Cheers.
Enjoy.